So we'll begin with education today. You know, the survey gives us a very wonderful quote from Dr. Kalam that learning gives creativity and creativity leads to thinking, thinking leads to knowledge and knowledge makes you great. You know, and that is something you can use also in your answer writing, because these are things that actually help us quite a bit. You know, also, you know, if you look at it, is Sustainable Development Goal 4, that is education. So if somebody asks us about education, education is in SDG 4, and you know, survey says correctly that education will help us in reaching other factors also, you know, with respect to Sustainable Development Goal, like zero hunger, no poverty, gender equality. So education has that capability on Sustainable Development Goals 4, you know, zero hunger, no poverty. ये सारी चीज़ें भी एक एजुकेटेड सोसाइटी हैंडल कर सकती है बेटर. यू नो, अगर एजुकेटेड हो सोसाइटी तो ये ज़्यादा बेहतर हैंडल किया जा सकता है. जेंडर इक्वालिटी, यू नो, एंड सो ऑन. तो एक ये बात बताते हैं सर्वे आपको. देन ऑफ कोर्स इट एनहांसेस इन एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी, इट ब्रेक्स द साइकिल ऑफ पॉवर्टी एंड सोशल मार्जिनलाइजेशन, empowers people socially. That is what education does. And then government has taken steps like new education policy, Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, you know, for as overarching programs to make it from preschool to class 12th, to assure that there is inclusive education and there is quality education. You know, assure that there is inclusive education and there is quality education. Then the survey goes further and it talks about gross enrollment ratios, you know, across schools and so on. So that is total enrollment in a particular level of school education that takes place as a percentage of population of official age group which corresponds to that education. You know, that is gross enrollment ratio, that total education in among schools, you know, so it is total number of people at a given level of education, and it is irrespective of their age. 10 साल का बच्चा या 15 साल का बच्चा अगर 4th में बैठा है, उसे प्राइमरी स्कूल में इनरोल्ड माना जाएगा. इसीलिए आप कभी कभी देखेंगे प्राइमरी स्कूल का ग्रॉस एनरोलमेंट रेशियो 100% के ऊपर चला जाता है, because there are kids with higher age sitting in primary institution is still. So total number of people at a given level of education as a percentage of total population in the age group, you know, that is in the age group designated officially, total population in the age group designated officially. So that is the idea, and the survey says that the number has been increasing continuously. This number dropping is a good news. This number dropping is a good news. This shows that now there is better correspondence between people of a given age and their classroom. ये अच्छा समाचार होता है. ये हाई होने का मतलब है कि आपकी क्लास में उस उम्र के बच्चों से हायर उम्र के बच्चे भी बैठे हुए हैं जो जिनको पहले हायर क्लास पे होना चाहिए था. So don't take this as a negative news. This is a positive thing that in the primary schools then the number of people at a given age group is gradually declining. We have seen the increase in the last couple of years. If you will see, this is COVID pandemic having an impact. That with COVID pandemic, again there are few people missing their class, missing school, going back to primary education. That is the number seen. Otherwise, if you will see, it has increased in upper primary and it has increased in secondary. Good news is that 95% almost of population in the given age group is at upper primary enrollment and almost 80% at secondary enrollment. Now I know that if you compare it to developed economies, it is still a very low number. In those economies, it's almost 100%. But the good news is that we are improving quite a bit in India. In fact, यहाँ तो फिर भी आपको 73.8 से 79.6 दिखता है. जब मैंने पढ़ाई शुरू की थी वो प्री हिस्टोरिक एज था, लेकिन जब मैंने पढ़ाई शुरू की थी अपने कॉलेज की 1992 में, तो मुझे ये नंबर दिखते थे 30s में. तो अगर उनसे कंपेयर करें तो हम बहुत आगे आ गए हैं. You know, these used to be late 20s, early 30s. This is where these numbers used to be. So we have improved quite a bit in the last 30 years in that sense. So that is one to keep in mind. Then the survey also brings to us another factor, that is the steps that the government has taken to improve school education. So one is PM Shri, PM School for Rising India. This is something that has been there since 7th September 2022. This PM Shri, this has been there since 7th September 2022. And the idea in PM Shri is that to equip the school with modern infrastructure and then implement new education policy through them. So modern infrastructure is the key here. School को equip करो modern infrastructure से, उनके अंदर कंप्यूटर की सुविधा दो, स्कूल के अंदर प्रॉपर न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी से कनेक्टेड सुविधाएं दो, और ये टारगेट किया जा रहा है दैट बाय 2027 14,500 पीएम श्री स्कूल्स, 2027 तक 14,500 पीएम श्री स्कूल्स बनाने की कोशिश है बाय सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, यूनियन टेरिटरीज, फ्रॉम स्कूल्स विच आर ऑलरेडी operated by them. So smart classrooms, libraries, computer infrastructure, labs, ये सब देंगे, मिलेगा students को through them. Sports facilities, art room, all these will be given through PM Shri schools. So that is the basic idea. Also schools will be engulfed with, or schools will be entrenched with water conservation, and schools will have waste recycling facility, energy efficient infrastructure. तो एक wholesome school बनाने की कोशिश है जहाँ स्कूल का अपना इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर जो है वो स्टेबल हो और सस्टेनेबल हो. सस्टेनेबल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का मतलब क्या हुआ? वाटर कंजर्वेशन होगा, वेस्ट रिसाइकलिंग होगी, एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी होगी. तो ये सस्टेनेबिलिटी की बात है. और साथ में बच्चों को लैब्स मिलेंगे, लाइब्रेरी मिलेगी, स्पोर्ट्स की सुविधा मिलेगी, और कंप्यूटराइज ट्रेनिंग मिलेगी, स्मार्ट स्कूल मिलेंगे. तो इससे क्या होगा? गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स का प्रोविजन बेटर होगा. 14,500 such schools are something where you talk about it. Then of course another thing is national curriculum framework for foundational stage. तो सरकार ने बोला है कि ये डेवलपमेंट होगा starting with children of ages 3 to 8. This is 5, 3 साल से 8 साल के बच्चे, 8 साल से 11, 11 से 14 और फिर 14 से 18. So that is the way children will be developed in the national curriculum framework, 5+3+3+4. Then there will be pilot project on Bal Vatika. This will be about developing children of 3, 4 and 5+ years by again equipping these places for preparatory class, and October 2022 it has been launched. This has been launched. ये आपके prelims point of view से important बातें हैं तो ध्यान में रखेंगे. Launched October 2022 in 49 Kendriya Vidyalayas. This has been launched October 2022 in 49 Kendriya Vidyalaya. And then of course toy based pedagogy, which is actually quite interesting because we need to have toy based pedagogy as young children connect better to toys. In fact, in US and Japan, they are using video games now for their children in primary and secondary schools, upper primary and primary schools rather, to develop hand-eye coordination when they sit on big data analytics later in life. So this is how future pedagogy is going to change. So to develop emotional quotient, to develop identification procedures, to develop connectivity. So toy pedagogy will be for that purpose. And then there is again a method of national credit framework. ये बहुत ही अच्छा innovation है. This is about linking all credits जो भी आपने achievements किए from school till college, जहाँ भी उनको लिंक करने की बात है कि जो भी आपने अचीवमेंट्स किए उसको नेशनल क्रेडिट फ्रेमवर्क की तरह स्किलिंग, रीस्किलिंग, अपस्किलिंग वो सब उसमें नोटिफाई हो जाएगा. So it will consist of skilling the children, reskilling the children, upskilling the children, accreditation of the children, and basic evaluation of the children, and seamlessly integrating all levels of training so that children are trained into doing things. So that's another very good framework. And then strengthening teaching, learning and results for states. STARS नाम दिया है इसको. इसको अभी के लिए 6 states में लॉन्च किया गया है. हिमाचल प्रदेश, मध्य प्रदेश, केरला और ये 6 स्टेट्स अभी इसको शुरू कर रहे हैं एज टीचर ट्रेनिंग फॉर 5 ईयर्स। ये 2020 से 2025 तक की बात है। राजस्थान, महाराष्ट्र and Odisha. These are the 6 states where STARS program has been launched to improve the quality and governance of school training. You know, that is the purpose कि school education की quality और इनकी governance को improve किया जाए, उसके लिए STARS program को launch किया गया है। आपके लिए 2 बातें ज़रूरी हैं इसमें। एक तो प्रोग्राम क्या है, साथ में जब भी तुम्हें बाई चांस एजुकेशन पे कुछ लिखने को दिया, so if they are giving it on education, then you can use these to show your contemporary knowledge. अच्छा, these are the schemes run for education in India. Then of course there is Vidyanjali. This is a school with volunteer initiative that has been developed, and this enables community and volunteer organizations to interact and connect, you know, directly with the government and government aided schools of their choice. कि जो volunteer हैं, जो एजुकेशन करना चाहते हैं, जो कम्युनिटी हैं, वो सीधा गवर्नमेंट या गवर्नमेंट एडेड स्कूल से कनेक्ट करें एंड विद्यांजलि में पार्टिसिपेट करें। It is also through corporate social security, corporate social responsibility that this has been introduced. Again, you know, if by chance they ask you initiatives of involving public in improving school education in India, Vidyanjali is one such. You know, this is one such initiative that has been developed. And then of course Samagra Shiksha scheme, 2018 government launched it. And the idea of Samagra Shiksha scheme is to make sure that people are not only literate in India, but people are efficiently literate in India. So again, school pedagogy to move in that direction, improving computer literacy and improving communication technology benefits to the students. तो सरकारी स्कूल में जब बच्चे जाएं और अगर 1 मिनट के लिए वो ऐसे वर्ग के बच्चे हैं जो गरीब वर्ग के हैं, उन्हें ये बेनिफिट्स अगर मिलनी शुरू होंगी तो अपलिफ्टमेंट के चांसेस होते हैं। सो दैट इज द आइडिया ऑफ समग्र शिक्षा अभियान। In fact, ICT labs have been approved for 1,20,000 schools and smart classrooms in 82,000 schools across country. ICT labs have been approved for 1,20,000 schools and smart labs have been approved for 82,000 schools across the country. You know, that is the idea of Samagra Shiksha scheme. Now see, and it is aligned, एक और बात आप ध्यान में रखेंगे, that it is aligned with new education policy. समग्र का मतलब होता है जो सभी चीज़ों को कवर करे। तो अगर आपके मन में आता है समग्र शिक्षा अभियान स्कीम क्या है, सर्व शिक्षा अभियान चल रहा था भारत में, उसको बढ़ाया गया है, सर्व शिक्षा अभियान का स्कोप इंक्रीज किया गया है। सो इट इज इंक्रीजिंग द स्कोप ऑफ सर्व शिक्षा अभियान इनटू समग्र शिक्षा स्कीम। दैट इज व्हाट हैज बीन डन इन इंडिया। So increasing the scope of Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan into Samagra Shiksha scheme. That is the basic idea.